Hi, I am Patrick van der Meer, Visualcoach, and I'm revisiting some videos I made 5 years ago. And they were with Entity Frameworks and MVC and building controllers and stuff like that. And we're going to do that with Blazor, but actually we're going to look at the seeding of information for your database and a few things around that. Okay, let's get started. So we have an application, Blazor Server App. And that name suits me well, but we're going to do it Blazor EF. And it has a .NET 7. Of course, we're going to have individual accounts. And when this builds, we're first going to update it to .NET 8. As it is now 7. Then we're going to quickly update, and I'm going to do this while I'm talking. Then we're going to update the various NuGet packages. Make sure that we have the latest stuff available, and you can see all the versions. But you will probably need to do something similar as I do now. So I've got 49 little upgrades done. So that's cool. Now we need the NuGet packages updated. And if you wait a little while, you see that you need some vulnerabilities that needs to be solving, and you need some updates. Well, actually, I don't see any updates, so we're just going to do the vulnerabilities. There we go. Install this, and if you do the Azure Identity first, then you'll also have the Identity client done as well. And that means that we only have system formats to do. Also the latest table. Now we should be all set. I don't see any other things that need to be done. It's still loading, so I'll give it, oh, well, yep, done. So let's run this first. And if we run it first and we're not trying to register or log in, then the database will not be built. But at least we have checked that the website is still working. There we go, opens in a different screen. So this is it. And if I do the fetch data or the standard stuff, that's all there. So as long as we don't log in and we don't register, we're okay. So now we're going to seed an admin, and we're going to add some roles to this. So the question is, where do you start? Well, first of all, you've got an area with identity. And that has pages. Well, actually it has one page and a shared page. So although it's not a database, this you probably like to have this updated as well. And the way to do that, well, let's do that as well. Yep. We're just going to add, and we're going to do new scaffolded item. And if you do that, you pick identity twice and then click add. There will be a little window opening with all kind of checkboxes of all the pages that identity use. Now everything is hidden except for the two that I just showed you. But with this window you can actually just overwrite all the files, even the ones that are already there. So just pick the application database context and add. Yes, we're going to overwrite these two poor little pages. So this makes it possible to make your own adjustments on the login and logout if you need that. So if you ever wondered where are all these pages, why can't I see them? Well, this is the reason, and you do need to make adjustments. Otherwise, everybody can just make an account and log in. So that's not exactly something that you like. There's no security whatsoever. That's about outside of the scope of this video, so we'll leave it like this. You now know that you have all the pages and you can do that. So now about the data. Well, there is already a migration pre-configured. That's the first migration. So if you want to build the database before starting anything, then actually we're going to do that. You just type in the EF commands, the entity framework commands. In this case, it's going to be update dash database. And if you press enter, it will find the migration and it will just say, hey, listen, we're just gonna do all of these things to build a database. Make sure if you only have one assembly, so one project, actually a better word, then this selection is good. But if you have more, then you might need to go to the folder, to the project that you need and where all the entity files, especially the migration files are. Okay, so that's that. So now we can go into the server object explorer, and if you don't know, if you don't have it in the site, then just go over here and just find it. It's probably somewhere over here. Can I quickly see it? Server explorer? No, I don't see it quickly. Well, doesn't matter. Oh, it's probably in here. Yeah, over here. So just open that and look in the SQL server list and look for the local database and then the databases itself. And then you see a database name, and the database name is probably the same name as your application plus a lot of crap. If you don't like that, at all, you can do the same as I. I'll just say, hey, listen, delete this. Yeah, close all the connections that are open at the moment. And change the name of the database in the app settings. Over here you have the database, and this is the name. This is that awful name. And just call that something simple. Demo DB. With the demo DB in place, I can actually, because that's the old database is gone, and there's a new name. So you can actually just repeat this. Update the database. It will run the same migration file, this one. And when it is done, you will have a database. Refresh. You will have a database with the new name. There it is, demo database. And if we inspect this, we can see the tables. And if you look at the tables, you see that in the table, let's take this one. There is no user whatsoever. So there's no user. Everything is null. Also the roles, there is no roles. So that's something that we want to fix. And of course, you will have one user that probably should be in a role. And of course, because the other two are empty, this one will also be empty. We'll leave these open so we can refresh them later on and see what changes. This migration is also gonna be killed. So now we need to have a file that seeds all what we need. And then we need to make changes in the program CS to make everything work. Actually, let's start over there. If you look at this, the users somewhere, let me see. Yeah, these options that we have over here. These options, they need a small adjustment. So we have here the identity user. Okay, this should be added. Oops. So we add the roles as well over here. Great. Having that done, we now need some way to run the data, to create a user and a role. And I would suggest that we do something like this. All the way in the end, just before to run the application, we're going to add a scope using scope. And then we're going to call a file, see data. That doesn't exist. So that's what we're going to make. That C data file is going to be over here somewhere. And let's do it in the data folder. Add a new file. And that's going to be our seed data. And it's just a class. And it's just going to be public. Nothing special. This is all. But it needs a method where we can actually do everything that we like. So let's have this thing. I'm just okay. God thank for GitHub Copilot. It will just help me a lot. So now I just tap. Oh, there we go. Tap. And then we already wrote all the code. That's cool. Let's compare it to what I already had. Yeah, we need a role manager resolved. Over here. That's kind of funny. I like this so much. It saves so much work. So we put the service provider in here. And before we're going to finish, oh, Jesus Christ, it wrote everything. Okay, I'm going to explain what's going on, okay? Let's first go back to the program. So we're going to do this role seeding. We put the service in that we had over here, the app service, which is actually somewhere here where it says app. The app has services. We let it run, and then run the application. So every time we run the application, when we publish it again and it starts, it will also look at this file and seeds whatever is in here. So that means that if you seed it, you cannot just seed it and then seed it again, because then you get double names and stuff like that. So you need to do little checks in this file, in this method, to make it run properly. So first of all, we need a role manager and a user manager, and those are simply taken out of the service provider. So we have these two services available. Then we want to have some roles. And over here it says, hey, listen, look if the role manager contains an admin role. And if it does not, that's what this exclamation mark is over here. If there is not a role like that, create that role. So we make a new identity role and with the name admin, and then this will create it. Remember to await it. So then we have a role, but only if it's needed. If you need more roles, you can do tricks. You can do say, listen, this is a part of a for each. Let's say you like to have something like this. So you predefine a club of roles. So I've got a super admin, and that super admin is put in a whole list of strings. So it's just going to super admin role, a normal admin role, a group manager, a user, whatever you like. Just make sure that you cannot change this too easily, because if you do that later, changing this, then you'll have all these roles that you cannot find or didn't code or have coded and then cannot appoint again. You get in a world of trouble. So if you do something like this, just keep this. Think about this first and then keep it. Right. So now this should be something like, oh, there it is. Thank you, Copilot, GitHub Copilot. So for each role in roles, just await to see if this role exists, and if it doesn't exist, then make it and create it. And then you repeat it until you have done all these roles. So now we have created all these roles. So that means that this piece of code can be just deleted. We have 5 roles to create. You know what I do? I'm gonna put this on pause. Let's edit it out. One more. And let's run this. Because it is already a program, so it will run this. And let's see what happens. There should be 4 roles if we run this once. So we just start the application. And I'll already open this. Oh, it closes again, of course. Yeah, okay. View, we're going to have the Server Explorer. And we're going to look at the roles over here. Didn't I have the file open? Yes, I did. Short memory. See data, roles. What are the roles? This is not the roles. This is not the roles. This is the roles. So we're going to refresh this. And now there should be 4 roles in there. Yeah. Okay. So the seeding of the roles, super admin, groups admin, and used nice is all normalized. Everything is there. It has an ID automatically. Awesome. So if it works that simple, then we can do that again. Now we're going to make a user. Okay, let me look at this code that was already made. It looks for if there is in the role manager, a role exists with the name of user. It already does it over here, so this code is obsolete. We can kill this. Then it says in the user manager, so that's this thing. In the user manager, see if you can find somebody with an email address admin@localhost. So, okay, let's undo this. Let's make sure that this code is running. And let's, just for the fun of it, take this out. Actually, we're going to take this all out. The whole string, X. And we say, okay, we have got a variable with an email called localhost. So we're going to look, find by email, if this user exists. If the user is null, it doesn't exist, then make a user with a username of email and also with an email of email. Now, I would thought that you could use any email address, but that seems to give an error. Then when you try to log in, it simply can't find the person. So just as username, use the email. And not only that, you also have a normalized name, normalized user's name, and that also the user email, but then to upper. So it's all capitals. Same goes for the email. You have a normalized email, also goes to upper. Then we have an email confirmed. Let's do something more. We need, let me think. We need, this is not a colon, this is a comma. Enabled. We have a logout enabled. That should be false for this user. You never want to have this user logged out. Locked out. That's a better word. Locked out. And you know what? I'm going to do this. This is the super admin. Because we're going to put this role to it. This super admin role. So first of all, this is not creating the user. This is only making a user without saving it. That means that when you have this, you will have to create a user. Okay, let's do this. Over here. We're gonna see if we can create this user. And it's simply this user. if we want to do this better, we could use this, make this the super admin, the super user, or whatever you want to call it. So it's clear that we're talking about that guy. And we're giving it the hard-coded password. So here it is created. And we are awaiting the result of the creation. So this will return a result. And if this result is true, if it is succeeded, result succeeded, then we want to put a role to it. Yep. And this is all living in this if statement. So if we don't have this user already in the database, then we create it, then we put him in, and then we assign him to a role. So this is the user, but we have a super user. So this is the user, super user. And this adds to role async. Then we need to decide what role it is, but we already knew that because we said, hey, we have a role here as super admin. So let's take this one. This should do all the tricks. Now you could say, okay, I was all writing methods that else if the user is found, check if he's in role. So that would be then an else statement over here. Else, but I'm not going to do that. If you deem that's necessary, then yeah, fine. It would prevent that somebody takes a role out if you have more admins. So this one super user is always in charge. Right, so this is all, we can take this out, all the same type of code. All leftovers. So now when we run this, we should have a super user being able to log in with this password. So again, super admin localhost. Let's do a .com behind it. So it is recognized as a email address. So let's take this. Here we go. And let's run this. And then we're going to check these tables. Website runs. So first we're going to check the tables. So we have this table, which is a user ID and role. I'll leave it first now, just for the surprise. Let's first see if we refresh this, if this user is being built. It is. Right. Then we're going to refresh this, and then we see, yes, the user ID is this particular ID for the role. And if we now look at the roles, add a few data, then this is the same ID. So yeah, succeeded. You have seeded a user. Could you seed more users? Yes, but I would advise only to do one super user and do the rest in the interface of the website. That's it. This is more or less all the things that you need to do to seed data. Could you do it different ways? Yes, you can do it actually in any page as well. There are examples enough of other guys that just do it in the Blazor pages. So first time when the website comes up, then it shows the web. It runs the code once, but make sure you secure it so you don't make duplicates of people in there. To see if this code makes a duplicate, I'll just close it. That's the last thing we're going to do before I close this video. It's a nice 24 minutes now, I see. So let's first see that we can actually, let's first see if it makes a second user. God forbid it is true. Here we go, view data and refresh the data also. No, we still have the one one guy, and we still have the one assigned role to it because it didn't change. Where is it? Over here. So there we go. Flawless code for now. And that also means that the roles itself only have been made once. So we only have 4 roles in here in total. View data. Yes, still there, nothing changed. So you can run this code over and over and over again. And because the code, the way you wrote it, it will just say, hey, listen, we already have a role. Oh, well, no, goddamn, we already have a super admin. And we have it already assigned to this role. So that's all here. So now let's see if we actually can log in on the web page. Log in. We have the super admin localhost. Was that the name? I hope so. I already forgot what typed in. Let me check that. We had the seed method over here. So where's the seed data? Yeah, we had a super admin and the email address was localhost. That was correct. And let's hope I remember this well. Admin at 1, 2, 3, I think it was. Check. Yes. Da-da-da. And we're done. We're in. We can go to all the pages and make the adjustments. This works. You have a seated super user, a super admin done. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you like to subscribe, do so. Maybe somebody else finds this video as well if he needs it. Yep, I'll be happy.